Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and like, follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, The Spiritual Grind.
Good morning.
We've been off mic for like 10 days, and it's we missed it. I missed it.
For sure.
And enjoying doing the podcast, having a good time.
I don't know how to act.
You don't know how to act?
No.
Because you're back on the mic? Or because we went 10 days without doing a podcast?
I'm in withdrawal.
Oh, no. Are you shrinking away?
I'm shrinking.
I'm shrinking.
Incredible shrinking woman.
Incredible shrinking.
That was a movie.
It was many years ago. I think it was in black and white, wasn't it?
No.
No?
It was with Lily Tomlin. It was like a 70s.
I don't even know who that is.
Wow, you need to get out more.
No, I just don't really pay attention to movies. I don't think I logged them for some reason.
Ooh, I do. Movies are such an incredible, awesome way to just get lost out of reality.
Yeah.
For me, it's a very, very big tool of distraction when I'm needing a distraction. I can just get lost in the movie and become the characters.
I do too. I do too a little, but I mean, it's like I don't retain it though. I can get lost in the movie and pretend I'm Bruce Lee in Kung Fu or something, but when it comes to the end of the movie, I really, I've heard you and one of our colleagues have movie trivia language and can quote lines from movies, and I'm like, yeah, I'm lost. I have no clue.
Yeah, especially if it's one that really resonated with me and brought through information that I was seeking, waiting for, and it had like a, download or a message in it for me, then it sticks.
Yeah. So you use movies to kind of fantasize and get through tough human parts of your life?
I mean, I use movies for a lot of things.
Yeah.
They're like any other means of communication. When you're asked for information on a topic, that can be a source of higher self information.
You'll
be inspired to watch a movie, and it will tell a story that puts the pieces together in exactly the perfect way to where you have a better understanding.
You told me a fib.
I did?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
I asked you before the podcast if you had any subject ideas, and it's one of the ones I was debating on is exactly this, what we're talking about.
I didn't have anything at the time. I was getting nothing, so...
Being open to your environmental tools.
Okay.
And that's where it's kind of funny. You brought that right into the...
I didn't do it.
Yeah, the guidance from above.
I just got on the pony and began to ride.
You ride? You just referenced a Genuine song.
Oh, see, I'm not big on the songs.
Yeah, see, that's where
I can't call the names of songs, and I can't call the person that sung them or wrote them. But if I hear the tune, I can usually sing the song, but I'm not the same way with songs as I am movies.
Uh-huh. My pony.
Wow. I can't sometimes with you. I just can't.
Ride it, my pony.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
The life she lives.
The life I live.
Hey, we keeping it light up in here, though. We're keeping it light.
Never a dull moment.
So one of my topics today, I had two I was debating on, and you kind of brought it into the subject matter, and that is identifying your environmental tools and being open to them to see the benefit of everything around you, and to help you identify and navigate your journey. Because, like we will be somewhere, and just, it's the oddest thing. I swear to God, y'all should hang out with us when we go somewhere. It doesn't matter anywhere. Some point within where we're going, some random person just approaches us and says some random thing.
Or some random thing happens.
Yeah, or some random thing happens. It's like crazy. It's like everywhere we go. Like when we were Christmas shopping.
It's very magical.
The guy just walked up to us out of nowhere at the Guitar Center parking. I was like, well, I don't even remember what he said. I think he asked us, so y'all, it was like random. I can't even remember now.
So do you stare at the sun? It's like things like that.
Yeah, it's like.
It'll be just like off the wall questions or comments.
Did you notice that star? Or something random.
And it'll be middle of the day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But then later what happens is it'll marinate and then it'll make sense.
Yeah, it does. Or it gets revealed and then by something else happening.
Right.
Like that, what was it, that billboard when you were thinking about doing something and then we drive by, that guy said something about traveling in the parking lot. Hey, do y'all ever travel or something? And you were talking about doing something, and then we passed that billboard. It was the escape room cruise thing. Yeah. And then we passed that billboard going down the highway after that guy just said something about it.
Right.
Like 30 minutes earlier, we were like, what was that about? But
following the breadcrumbs, man.
Yeah, just follow the breadcrumbs and being open to them.
Yeah, and viewing it from a perspective of curiosity and excitement and interest and fun. Because it is fun when it unfolds like that. That's part of the journey.
I agree. The crazy, or actually, I think for me is I went through my life navigating it pre-Dr. Jenny in a sense of using my intuition. Didn't really pay much attention to the environmental tools that I remember. And now here we are post Dr. Jenny, I pay a lot more attention to those things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very good idea because your reality is set up. You create your reality.
Yeah.
We keep harping on that. And you create your reality to give you those
clues
all along the way. And if you'll view it that way, it makes it a whole lot more fun.
Yes, life gets easier.
Even the parts that seem challenging or difficult, they're still clues. And so it's like life is like one big clue game.
The funny part, this happened to me on Monday.
And the information is always coming to you. It's always available. It's whether or not your definitions are allowing you to be open and receive the information in all of the different ways
in any way, right,
out there. And kind of looking at the definitions and defining, am I being insistent that the information must come in a specific way?
Yeah.
And that in and of itself keeps you from being able to hear the information because it didn't look like this or that or whatever.
This happened to me on Monday. What happened?
The lights just flickered.
Oh, it happened to me on Monday.
They're here. What movie is that from?
Poltergeist.
Ooh, see, you're good.
Who doesn't remember that movie? I remember one scene of that movie, actually, and it's when she's touching the TV with it being fuzzy and she's saying, they're here. That's the only thing I remember of that movie. Because that was a traumatic event in my life, because back in the day, the TVs did that all the time. You remember it?
So it scared you.
It did. It created a little bit of a fear. Because I was young when that movie came out.
Yeah.
So on Monday, we help seniors for a living. I'm just going to put it that way. And I had gotten a call from a guy that was wanting us, our assistance, and but he couldn't be available to come and see us. And I was sitting there debating on,
you mean come and see us in the office?
Yeah, come to the office and see us. And not until like next week or something. And he didn't want to miss out on the opportunity. And I was sitting there debating because I know he lived like an hour and a half away. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Do I go do this? Or, because I was in that spot of trusting the journey at that point. Because I had said, hey, bring me some candidates in. And to you. And I was sitting there and I walked out of the office and the dangest thing happened. This caregiver walked in with a suitcase, walking in the front door, and on the side of it was a bumper sticker that said, go get them.
Oh, yeah.
And
Nice.
so I was like, okay.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, so that's the kind of environmental tools that I'm talking about. Most people would never even notice that. But because I'm open to my environmental tools, since you and I have gotten together, you've taught me to be more keen to our environment.
Yeah.
When she walked by, I was like, thank you. And she was like, okay, give me that weird look.
Right.
And so it was the craziest dang thing.
She walks off saying, freaking weirdo.
I know, weirdo, what's this guy doing? And so I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I get on the phone, I call him, I said, hey, I'm going to come to you. Oh, you would do that? And I was like, yeah. And he said, oh, that'd be great. I'll be here by noon. Because he had doctor's appointments all morning, all week. And so I did it. And it was a really smooth, easy journey. There was nothing hard about any of it.
Yeah.
I got there and back in time for what I wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
And that environmental tool was what brought up the subject for this week for me is because we do it all the time.
Right. Yeah. Now it's just kind of second nature for us.
Well, it wasn't for me. It was a struggle at first. You like our truck driving journey. There was a truck that passed us on the road twice, and you signed us up for it because you paid attention to your environmental tools, and it took us from point A to point B.
Yeah.
But I wasn't very keen to that. I was like, I'm not doing that.
Nope. I mean, sometimes we still have moments.
Yeah, we have moments
where we're both like being drugged through the dust with our heels dug in.
Being drugged by
I
rocks.
would be curious. My question would be, in that experience on Monday, when you talk about it, you have a little bit of an energy about how you weren't really wanting to do it
humanly, right?
And I'd be curious to know what that was about. Well,
spiritually, the day before, I had said something to you about, hey, bring me somebody in. I want to keep our goal, And so I was spiritually waiting for the clues. And so I was debating on, okay, am I forcing this humanly, thinking about this?
Yeah.
Or is it me not trusting the journey? Is it me not trusting higher self?
Right.
Or whatever that is. And so I literally had, because I really didn't want to drive 3 hours, to be honest with you. I didn't want to drive 3 hours. But that was a human thought. And so I was doubting the whole scenario. And then it came to my mind. I was like, okay, just give it back to spirit and we'll see what happens. And it wasn't 10 seconds later that lady walked in.
Well, but what definition do you have around driving 3 hours somewhere or driving 3 hours there? Why did that get defined as something not fun or not interesting or?
Well, I don't enjoy not being around you.
Oh, I see.
And it was going to take me away from that, 3 hours of time. Even if we don't get to spend a lot of time together during the day, I still know that if I need a little energy or a little something to talk about or whatever, I can go see you.
Right. I see.
There's many times I just go in your office and sit at the table just to sit there in your energy.
I see.
And I was being human in it completely. I think it was more of a human thing. And because he had called me, I didn't call him. He had called me.
Yeah.
And I was surprised by the call.
Yeah.
And because I had just told you the night before, okay, send me because I really expected him the day before to act, and he didn't. And so normally when you expect them to act and they don't, I've learned over the years that they never do. And then I was completely surprised after you obviously energetically intervened into this and spiritually intervened for me. And I was just humanly interfacing with it is what it was. I was like, I didn't want to drive 3 hours. I didn't want to do it. And it ended up being an okay journey. It was there, fast, quick, and efficient. There, done, back, and met all my goals.
Yeah. That's how we can tell on our specific journey when we're doing something that is in alignment with our natural state of being or in alignment with divine flow, or we're doing exactly what we created to do. That's how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
I know there'll be a question of, well, how do you know? How do you know? Generally for us, we know because it seems to be a very easy sequence of events
Yes,
that
I agree.
take place
Yes.
for us when we're staying in that high vibrational state to align with that we actually asked for, with no insistence on how it has to look. It happens very quickly and it happens very easily. And so in opposition to that, if we have something going on and it seems kind of like it's a bit of a struggle, or it's just not quite falling into place like it should, that's an indicator that we use in our own personal bubble that, okay, hey, we need to stop, take a step back. We need to relook at what are our beliefs around this? What do we believe to be true? What is our definitions? And just kind of reevaluate the whole process. Are we supposed to be doing it right now? Are we supposed to be doing it at all? If we are, then what beliefs and definitions do we have in place that are keeping it from being a very inflow and divine, magical sort of feeling?
Yeah.
And that's how we work our process.
I agree. It's about being open-minded either direction, and just being aware of your surroundings and your environment, and staying in tune and in touch with your intentions. And
I think you said it right too, that, not having that absolute staunch insistence that it has to look
a certain way,
or that it has to happen at all.
Yeah.
Being okay that if you imagine or daydream or concoct in your head something that you find interesting or joyful or exciting, and it doesn't happen, or it doesn't happen the way you created it in your thinking mind, your human thinking mind, it doesn't mean that it's not supposed to happen. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It may mean that you are not open to letting it happen the way that would best fit you, because you're insisting that it must happen exactly the way you visioned it.
Yes.
in your daydream or whatever. And that sometimes will prevent it or even slow it down from coming into existence, because higher self's job is to take the general concept and make it exactly what it's supposed to be for you on a higher level.
Yes, agreed.
But if you've got beliefs and definitions kind of in the way, and higher self knows that you won't experience this person, place, or thing in the way that you wanted to experience it, it'll hold off until you've had an opportunity to pay attention to your beliefs, your definitions, and clean things up a little bit so that you can experience it in that just really miraculous way. And so it doesn't mean it won't happen. It just means maybe that it's not going to happen right now, because if it were to happen right now, it would be a very low-key experience or anticlimactic experience, and higher self knows that.
Yes, I totally agree. I think the part for me when I was first learning, because you used to tell me, well, pay attention, and you used to tell me that back when we first got together. And so I really started paying attention. And I think the struggle for me was realizing that it's whatever you look at or you see or you hear, or it can be anything.
Yeah.
It can be anything. A dog barking that makes you look a certain way, and behind it's a truck that's driving by. And for me, it was like being able to relax with what I identify, what part of what I just saw or heard or whatever experienced identifies with me. Because there's been times that, like on the way back from this journey on Monday, I get on the highway and there's a billboard that says, "Do it my way, not your way, God." And so, it was part of that really resonated with me. and there's a part of it that's not. But
so tell us the difference.
The difference,
just so the listeners can know what part of that statement resonated with you and what did it mean.
I would replace the God with higher self.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Do it my way, not your way. Higher self.
Right.
And like a quote from higher self. And so that's what would change for me in that. But it was like parts of things can be there. Like you have a random person come up to you and approach you in the street, and when you've been, I don't know, when you're unhappy about something, and then they come by and tell you a joke just randomly. Because if you open your energy up and be receptive to it, that kind of thing it really starts happening a lot.
Right.
And so and it helps you really navigate it and identify the questions that you have going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll share personal things that are going on in my bubble that are very similar to that. I'm on this skin cancer journey, and I've had to shave parts of my hair so I can do treatment to the spots. And the treatment is not a fast treatment. For whatever reason, I set that up. I obviously have a belief or definition in place that says I can't put the cream on and overnight it's all healed. So it's taking some time. And what I found is that visually, I don't like having the bandages on my face and on my ear. I actually cried when I shaved my head. I'm like, great, now I look like some G.I. Jane nonsense. And it really kind of brought up some physical experiences about my perception of how I look.
Yeah.
And, I'm having some swelling in my face and just different things like that. I haven't really been able to put my makeup on, which I love to play in, as you well know. I have this weird hairdo that's challenging at best to navigate. And, my life is like a big theatrical stage. I'm always dressing up and doing weird things to my hair and my makeup and becoming whatever character I want to become. And this is kind of, from my perspective, impeded the ability to do that.
Yeah.
From my viewpoint. And inevitably, every time I'm having kind of one of those low vibrational days where I've got, extra baggy eyes or puffy face, I will have, I can't even put a number to it. It feels like hundreds of people will come up and say, "Oh my God, you're so cute today. I love the ensemble you've put together." And literally I'm like feeling like I just put on some frumpy ass clothes that mean nothing, because my visual perception of myself is not very pleasant that day and my energy vibe about it. But I'm always reminded by higher self through other people that, hey, just remember, we see you differently than you see yourself.
Right.
Other humans, higher self. And that gives me something to latch onto that's a higher vibrational frequency to kind of pull me out of the mud, so to speak, and get me through the day. So that's one of the tools that I see in my reality that sometimes helps, is that for me was a reminder that what I was basically doing was looking at myself through a lens that was skewed and telling myself basically a lie that I had created in my own human mind of, oh, you're not attractive, you're not cute, you're not pleasant or pleasing to look at. And what I keep being reminded of is there's people that come into my reality that remind me that they can't even see the dressings. Like just the other day, one of our vendors came up and apologized to me, and she was like, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that you had shaved your head because you were having to go through that. I just thought you were doing something interesting with your hair."
I heard that.
And she's like, I said, "Wow, she was able to pull that off and make it look good." and I was like, "What the bleep is she talking about?" Because to me it looks awful, but it was a nice reminder that it was higher self's way of saying to me, "Hey, you're viewing this through a skewed set of lenses, so you might want to relook at it because you're telling yourself something that's not accurate, and it's causing you to lower your vibrational frequency around this topic."
That's people saying 1 or 2, 2 or
like
3.
At the eye doctor,
3 or 1, 1 or 3.
And so what that told me is that the big fat dressing that I have lopped on the back of my head, I'm like, to myself, when she said that, I said in my head, I was like, "Wow, you can't see the big dressing on the back of my head?" Like,
it blends in with your skin really well, actually.
And that's what I was reminded of is like, it looks to you much different than it does to everybody else.
Well, I think,
and you can't hardly even notice it because the tape and stuff that
blends
that I use is almost the same color as my skin, and so people are not really realizing that I even have anything on there, which I didn't realize.
We see, you know why?
Because when I look in the mirror, all I see is this big Frankenstein sutures and body parts being sewn together that don't belong or whatever. I see myself sometimes as a monster when I'm really feeling crummy about it. So that's my story.
The reality is like you said, people don't view you like you view you, because when you talk to somebody, I guarantee you, if you pay attention, they're either A, looking directly into your eyes because you have beautiful eyes, and they don't pay any attention to anything other than your eyes because of your eye color. You have that unique eye color that stands out, and then your big long eyelashes, and it draws people into your eyes, and so they pay no attention to what's going on around them. I see. And if it's a guy, they probably look at your cleavage.
Good God. Well, then I need to start sending them a bill.
Yeah, right. I know they owe me money.
Yeah, and so it's just a good reminder that sometimes the way you see yourself or the way you see your situation is not always the way that it is exactly. Yeah. And it's certainly 9 times out of 10 is not the way somebody else is seeing it. And so when you listen to the tools and the information coming to you through your reality, it can be helpful reminders of, hey, you're not really looking at this in the highest and best way. You might want to revisit it and soften your perspective around it.
Yeah. And accept the energies of what everybody's saying, because that's good positive energy coming at you.
Yep. Exactly. And accept that you may be telling yourself a mistruth or a lie that's not accurate, and to kind of give yourself a break.
I think you're beautiful.
Not criticize yourself so harshly.
Yeah, I don't care if you have a paper or not. I still think you're beautiful.
You don't care if what?
If you have a paper stating that I have to say that.
I thought you said I don't
you
care
say that
if you
to
have
me all the time.
Paper.
I say, I think you're beautiful. Well, you have a paper saying that you have to say that. No, I don't have to say that. The paper does not say that I have to say that.
That's just a joke.
I know it is, honey. I'm just playing with you. But because I think you're beautiful, and I think what you're going through so gracefully is inspiring to me.
Thank you.
Because what you take and embarking upon this journey to get rid of it, I know is for us and not just for you. And so I truly appreciate that. And I think it's very inspiring, and it makes me want to stand up to challenges in my life. And that's, I don't think you realize how inspiring you are to everybody around you.
I probably don't, honestly.
And because they view you way differently than you view yourself. I view you way differently than you view yourself.
I mean, that's for most people, honestly.
I agree. I agree.
Most of the time, if you really sit
unless you're like me and egotistical and... I mean, when God passed out good looks, he gave me the whole bucket.
Yes, he did.
But that's just, identifying, and that just falls into line too, in identifying your environmental clues. Yeah. Of what's really going on, and it can really open your eyes. And so, I think my challenge to the listeners is to stop for a minute at every single moment. When there's something that pops into your reality, because this is what I've started doing many years ago when you told me to stop and look around. When I get something that pops up that just frustrates me, or it causes that bump up against place in your human journey, is to stop for a minute and look around, because you're going to have some kind of spiritual clue around you. It's happened to me every time.
Yeah, some sort of indicator of why am I having this experience? Why am I having this emotion about the experience?
Yeah.
There'll be some sort of indicator somewhere, either a thought that'll pop up in your head, something that'll be on a wall, somebody will say something, a book will stand out at the store, a sign. I mean, it can come in literally any form. An apparition that comes at the end of your bed. Like,
but at one time it was a bumper sticker on a car. I remember. I don't remember. You was like, look at that bumper sticker.
Right. It can come in any form. And then once you embrace the fact that it can come in any form and you open yourself up to allow that, then you can kind of play with it.
Yeah.
Like, I've mentioned this in other podcasts. If I just need a reminder that my higher self is there and I just need to kind of feel that warm embrace or that comfortable feeling when I'm going through what I perceive to be a little bit of a challenging moment or something that's a little confusing, I've put the intention out there that whenever I'm feeling that way and I need that extra little
oomph.
Hi, I'm here. I love you so much. I will.
Hello. It's higher self coming to talk to you.
I've asked to have feathers appear along my journey, and it's fun to play with. Or, when a belief has cleared or been fully rewritten, I'll hear a bell, and that's because I've asked.
Yeah.
For those indicators to be put in place, just to kind of play with it. And so...
Can I tell the bike story?
Yeah, of course. It's a fun story.
It was. I don't even remember where we were going, but we were on the motorcycle and we were going through the Ozark Mountains down south towards Little Rock for some reason. I don't even remember what the purpose was that we were going somewhere.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But we were going and she was like, she didn't want to go. She's like,
we were going to somewhere.
Yeah, I know. We had a destination.
She
didn't want to go. And the whole time she's like, turn around. I don't want to go. Go back. Drop me off. Da, 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 da. And then we stop at this stop sign. I make a right. And I just keep on riding because I know that we're supposed to go.
Yeah. And, I mean, even us, sometimes I drag him kicking and screaming. Sometimes he drags me kicking and screaming. That's just what we do. We're human too.
And so we turned right at the stop sign and we go probably about a mile down the road and over the top of this little hill. And there had to be 25 chickens worth of feathers right in the middle of the road to where when we went through them on the motorcycle, they all like poofed up, like up into the air.
All over the side of the road, on the shoulder.
Yeah, they were everywhere for a good mile.
All you could do was just laugh.
Yeah.
Honestly. That's all we both could do.
You laughed so much you started crying.
It was just like, oh my gosh. Okay, fine.
It was so funny. And I think that's, you know what?
But the rest of the story was
the watermelon thing.
The whole rest of the journey.
Yeah.
Along the shoulder, we kept having this shit ton of feathers just all along the way.
Everywhere.
And what ended up happening is we finally caught up to...
It was a chicken trailer.
This chicken trailer that we had been following all this time. But we were far enough behind him, we didn't know that it was a chicken trailer. We just saw
And then we get to the stoplight and he waves at us.
Huge amounts of feathers.
It's almost like he knew he was on our journey with us. It was because we get to a stoplight in the town and I look up at him and he just waves.
Right.
And so
he's like, I did my part in your play.
I did my part in your play. I completed my script.
It was
a pretty funny day.
It was very funny.
And I think, wasn't that the watermelon thing when we went to go sign up for the watermelon thing?
I don't remember, honestly.
I don't remember.
I just remember the experience of more feathers than I could even possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Because I was fighting and kicking and screaming, and it didn't want to go.
I was having this environmental talk with one of our employees on Monday, and we were talking, and he had said something about his ex or something else, and his how he went to a birthday party or something, and his ex and her new husband were fighting the whole time, and he said at one point, I thought about getting up and getting involved in it, and then I looked over across, and the guys, one of the people at the party or wherever they were, had a shirt on that said "Be patient," and it had that smiley face like the one on Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah, the traditional yellow smiley face.
The yellow smiley face, but it said "Be patient."
Yeah.
And so he said he looked at it, and he was like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to do anything. It's right, because I'm not going to do this little subliminal message from higher self.
Right.
And he said, so he just sat and enjoyed the show and ate popcorn while they argued. And at the end of it, she said, why didn't you help me? And he said, you divorced me. So he paid attention to the environmental clues of what was going on around him, and did the right thing and didn't get involved.
Yeah.
But and that's why we were having that conversation. He's like, you're right. I probably should pay more attention to that. And it's kind of an eye-opening experience. It really is good, because when I came out of the office that morning and it was kind of debating on what to do, and that lady walks by with that bumper sticker, it was that moment of, okay, thank you, higher self. It's the identifying and being open-minded to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the way the mechanism works is that whenever you set an intention or you have a desire, it's automatically created. Higher self takes that and creates it. Yep. And it's there waiting for you to align with the vibrational frequency of it. The information that you're requesting, it feels like sometimes it's not coming through. It is there.
Yeah.
It's available. Just like if you were to go to a bookstore and buy a book or whatever. The problem is that if you've got an insistent or belief or definition that it has to look a certain way, or it's not spiritual information, or it's not the correct information, that is what will block your vibrational frequency from flicker of the lights, lining up with it and being able to receive the information in whatever form or fashion it comes. I think, unfortunately, back in the day when the spiritual community began to evolve, there was this underlying notion that information had to come to you via meditation or some deep gamma level of sit and thought, or it wasn't valid information. It was incorrect. It wasn't accurate.
That's way two-dimensional thinking.
And or you had to be eating a proper
diet,
raw juiced diet,
no meat, no dairy, no live
whatever,
products,
because that would decrease your vibration. And there was a lot of rules and stuff that went along with it. You have to go
barefooted and hug trees.
And the spiritual community has evolved, and a lot of those things don't exist and don't apply. I think back then there was some truth, obviously, to that.
It was the beginning stages.
Because it was the beginning stages of beginning to listen to the frequency and learning about it.
Yeah, it
and
the next
those
best thing. Yeah.
Techniques were what worked for that group of people that were beginning to open the concept back up. But as we've evolved and we've grown, each generation is learning how to spiritually exist, whether you eat meat on a daily basis and love meat, or whether you don't, or whether you sit in meditation to get the information, or you just flutter through your day like a fairy and pick up the breadcrumbs and it comes to you in whatever colorful way that is intriguing to you.
Well, I think the evolution of it all was environmental clues. Like we have now got to a point to where we all realize that we're not going to affect anybody's journey unless they allow us to, including animals, including buildings, including cars, including whatever.
Right.
And so, back then they thought, oh, you can't eat meat. That's a live living being. And you're just going to lower your, and ultimately we would never consume that creature or that energetic being, because it's still an energetic being, unless it was in their journey for us to do that.
That's right.
And so it is a different form of thought. And back in the day, that was a really two-dimensional thinking. It has to be this way. It's very staunch.
Right.
And now we're into this more 5D thinking, to where we're open-minded and we're seeing more 360.
Yeah.
Now we just got to see 360 and 360 degrees. Right. And that's where, you get even farther and deeper in. And I think those environmental clues will show us that more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the rabbit hole concept of it is that every single thing has energy, and it has a journey.
Yeah.
Even the things that we say are inanimate objects, they are still energy, and
still
energy has a consciousness, and it has a purpose.
Yep.
And you put it into your reality for some reason.
Yes, I agree.
And even if you don't know what that reason is at that moment, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing something incorrectly or you're not doing something in the right way.
Right.
It just means that you're not, it means either A, the information is not necessary at this time, necessary at all, or it's not time for you to explore that part of it. That's not what you're supposed to be focusing on, in other words.
Yeah.
Like sitting here, we've created this room and there's a printer and I can see a computer and I could get myself jammed up of, oh my God, why did I create this reality for this computer to be sitting here?
Yeah.
I could go down that direction, but what does it matter?
Right.
So in this particular situation, I know that in order for me to have a very authentic experience of being in studio, it's just a, what do you call them?
As, you mean like the, what do they call them?
Yeah. It's just
a prop. Yeah. A prop.
It's just a prop to make it feel more real and more authentic.
Yeah.
Or like my journey that I'm currently going through with the cancer on my skin thing. Why am I creating this to be a painful thing? It doesn't have to be. Mm-hmm. I don't know the answer and I'm not aligned with the answer right this minute, but it doesn't mean that I go into a place of,
woe is me.
Oh my God, I'm doing something wrong. Like panic or go into this.
Because that used to be how people thought.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm doing something wrong. It doesn't look right.
I'm being attacked. I'm paying for my sins, or come on,
karma or
karma. Yeah.
Like that.
This must be because I didn't listen or something. It's
getting to that place where so I've created this learning experience where there's some discomfort that I'm physically experiencing, and it's okay.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say embracing the situation at hand. I know that when I go do my dressing changes, there's some pain associated with that. Mm-hmm. I don't know why yet. I may never know why, and that's okay too. But embracing the fact that that is just part of the experience that I've designed for my growth and evolution, and focusing on the fact that it is what it is, and it doesn't mean that it's right or that it's wrong.
Right.
Just not getting wrapped up in the negativity of having to experience the discomfort in it.
Embracing
the fact that it just is what it is right now. And even if I'm not getting information right this minute from my higher self, I either am not in alignment with that information, or it's not for me to know right now so that I can have a true authentic experience. like, I don't know. There could be many, many reasons and possibilities that I can't see yet or may never see, and being okay with that either way in any direction.
Maybe you're not supposed to see it, you know?
Right. Yeah. I may never know why I associated pain with it. And
being who you are, where you are, and just accepting it.
And it just is what it is.
It just is what it is. Yeah.
And finding, you know, when I go to do dressing change, I know there's going to be discomfort, but I don't focus in on the discomfort. I find something else.
Yeah.
And so some days it may be that I listen to soothing music while I'm doing it. I may turn on, I like to listen to Bashar talk. I may turn on a Disney movie. I like watching the Disney stuff whenever I'm not quite feeling good or whatever. That raises
like the fantasy
frequency.
Movies, the fantasy animated movies.
Yeah, like the Pirate Fairy or Tinkerbell or Dr. Doolittle.
What's the one with the marbles that we went and saw in theater too?
The Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Yeah. Yeah, any of those. I love Disney movies. They are a good way for me to escape.
And get you back to your childlike thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
So, I mean, I just find whatever tool works for me that day. And it's not the same tool.
Yeah, it can be different.
Sometimes it's different every single day, and I'll turn something on and it's not doing it for me, and I'll change to a different tool. That's what it's all about. You have to explore, and sometimes you constantly have to explore, depending on how challenging you're seeing the part of that journey to be. You just explore and allow that to be okay.
Yeah.
And not be trapped in that mindset of, okay, these are the tools I set up in my bag, and one of these tools has to work, and it has to work every single time, or I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Those tools will change as you grow and evolve. You're a different person billions of times a second, literally, because you're popping from one parallel reality to the next.
Love it.
So there you have it.
I feel pretty complete. How do you
already?
Feel? I do feel complete.
Wow,
already? That's what do you mean already? That's still.
I feel like we've only been talking for like 10 minutes.
No, it's been almost an hour.
Wow, that went by quick.
Yep. I mean, I feel pretty complete about it. I just wanted to get the point across of opening your eyes and being open to your surroundings in any way to help guide you and navigate your journey. Because your emotional response system is going to identify the things that are wrong or right. If you see something and it feels good, it's probably what you're supposed to do.
Right. Yeah.
And like we had another one of our employees on Monday told me, I was like, "How'd your weekend go?" I didn't really do nothing. I just laid on the couch and watched TV all day, and I kind of felt pointless and useless and unproductive. I'm like, okay, so laying on the TV and letting your body relax and being where you are and who you are in your environment while you mindlessly watch TV is not a productive rest.
Enjoyable thing. I would look at my definitions.
Right, that's what I told him.
Because somewhere along that journey, that person has been taught to define that as some negative way.
Yeah.
And so therefore, not allowing themselves to find joy in
just being.
Just
accepting your reality where you are.
Just vegging out.
And just completely be open. But I was like, well, what movies did you watch? And they were like, oh, I don't even really remember. The only part I remember is somebody was driving a car somewhere. Oh, so they were on a journey of their own. And it kind of like, you could see the ding. Oh, you could see the light bulb go off on top of their head.
Right, right.
And like, sometimes it's okay just to be. There's been many times that Jenny and I we go home and we don't get out of bed. We get up and eat. We get back in bed. We get up and eat. We get back. It's okay.
Because that's the most exciting and joyful thing that we have right then that we want to do.
Yeah, and then there's been times when we get off for the week, we're gone until we have to be back to work the next day.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It is what it is, and it's
following your joy. Yeah. But the thing with following your joy and your excitement is if the definitions behind some of the things that you do. And that's a perfect example of that.
It is.
If laying around is the most joyful thing you can
That's lazy. It's unproductive. You're not doing anything with your life when you sit and do nothing all weekend, because society has taught you have to be productive 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, or you're useless.
Doing something.
You'll never make more money if you lay on the couch on a Saturday and watch movies all day. Oh, shit. Sorry. I'm sorry. I sneezed. I'm sorry.
And man, it just sometimes feels so good to just veg out.
It does. I agree.
I love naps. They are one of my favorite hobbies.
Hello. This is society. Society says you must do something every day.
Every second of every day.
You must be productive and pay taxes and do all the things that you're supposed to do. Otherwise, you're a loser.
So I would redefine nothing.
Yes.
Doing nothing. Laying around watching TV, doing
And that's
nothing.
what I said. I'm like, you weren't doing nothing. You were relaxing. You
right.
were
It's
being.
still doing something.
Yeah.
And I would put it back in that joyful, enjoyable category, because it feels good to be able to just do that.
I mean, this is how much society changes, and this was brought up at work the other day too. Do you remember back when being a gamer was like you're a loser? Oh my God, you're going to live in your mom's basement all your life, being an online gamer.
I don't myself. I didn't.
There was actually commercials about
hang around in that.
Are you going to be this person all your life? No, you should get a career and go to a Career Point Business School. Those kind of things.
This is what I would put everybody to the challenge of. How many times did you go get your chores done just so you could reward yourself
With gaming? Yep.
Or with going and taking a nap, or with sitting and watching your favorite TV show as a reward, because it's enjoyable.
It's actually a college course now.
Negotiated with yourself to give yourself permission to do it by getting this list of things that weren't enjoyable done. Now that you're in adulthood and you don't have a parent standing over you, feeding you full of that nonsense.
Yeah.
It's okay to change the definition and give yourself permission to just do that randomly, even if you haven't done your chores.
Well, I mean, it just shows you how much it's changed, because there's military jobs for it. There's college courses on it. Right. They use it for robotics controls. They use it for drone flying.
The gaming part
of it, and the hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
And there's actually recruiters that recruit gamers for the military.
Right.
Because they need that robotic control.
Right.
And so it's like,
I think just sitting around, even just watching your favorite movie or TV show, can be redefined.
Oh, I totally agree.
I think that if you want to truly have an experience of total rebellion, don't do your chores for a day and just sit and watch TV and check in and see if you can get to a place where you say, golly gee, this feels really good.
This was nice.
It was nice. I'm just going to rebel against the whole system.
Hey, Mama, can you Uber me some food in, because I am not leaving this couch today? Hey, let's get pizza. Remember, we've done that many times. Let's order pizza.
Let's goober in some pizza, because we ain't getting up.
Well, anyway, that's still part of the environmental clues and tuning into them. And just understanding that if you are moved and that TV is calling your name, and you just want to lay down and watch TV for the day, that's an environmental clue.
But do it from a place of enjoying it.
Yeah,
not
enjoy
from
it.
a place of, oh, I didn't do anything. Life is so boring. I have no purpose. That's a much different energy.
It is.
Than actually doing it and finding enjoyment in it.
Yep. I feel really complete now.
Yeah.
Well.
Very good.
Hey, guys, thank you all for listening to The Spiritual Grind. We really enjoy doing this, and we hope that you all enjoyed as much as we do. So if you all would, look us up on social media at The Merc Centers. You can go to our website at www.themerccenters.org. And the Merc is spelled MERCCENTERS. And, just give us a like, follow, share, whatever you need to do. And we really appreciate it, because if you
ring that bell,
you'll get notifications of when we upload a podcast. Appreciate y'all. Have an awesome day.
Love you.